Good morning, everyone. Here are your current events for today, Friday, April 3rd, 2020. Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Director Robert Gordon issued an emergency order yesterday setting a $1,000 civil fine for individuals who disobey any of Governor Whitmer's executive orders dealing with COVID-19. This is a civil fine on top of the $500 and or 90 days in jail criminal violation. This is being applied to non-essential businesses that refuse to shut down and individuals who violate the shelter-in-place order. I don't believe, at least I hope, they're not going to be, the authorities will not be pulling over people and seeing what you're up to. However, they will use this as a tool for businesses that are still open, that shouldn't be. If there was large gatherings of people, say in a park, playground, these could be tools to dissuade those activities. Governor Whitmer also has prohibited face-to-face instruction for the remainder of the school year. School is not over, just that we are not going to be able to meet face-to-face at the high school. So education is going to continue. We've been talking about this for the last 3 weeks. Mr. Stamas and the staff, Mr. Meisner and Mr. Stamas are evaluating the executive order, and we will have a plan shortly on how we are going to provide instruction to all of our students at Parchment High School and in the district and throughout the state. So look for that information. Look for information on Google Classroom. The robocalls will continue to let you know how we're going to provide education for the remainder of the school year. The captain of the USS Theodore Roosevelt was relieved from command after writing a memo to his superiors requesting that his ship be evacuated and thoroughly cleaned after over 100 sailors tested positive for the COVID-19 virus. The Navy did order the ship to return to Guam, where all but 1,000 of the 4,800 sailors will be placed in quarantine in local hotels. The captain was removed not for the content of the message, but how he sent the message. They were upset that he sent this email that was very critical of the response to a lot of individuals in the Pentagon, and they believe that because he had such a wide distribution list, this led it to be leaked to the media, and they were also concerned on how he sent the email. It is alleged that he sent it through an unsecured channel that could easily have been hacked. So he has been relieved of duty. Here's some updates from the week. Dr. Fauci wants President Trump to issue a national stay-at-home order. So far, 38 states have issued the order. You can see on the map on the screen the states that are in the dark color have issued stay-at-home orders, similar to that of Michigan. President Trump believes that these orders should be left up to individual governors. So if you've had government, we talk about the differences between Republican and Democrat, and one of the big differences between Republican and Democrat is who's best to lead, the national government or the states. A Republican would like to defer to the states. The Democrats defer to the national government. So this is a federalism argument, but Dr. Fauci still wants that order to be done everywhere because some states are very slow to respond. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved the first antibody test that looks for the coronavirus response in blood. What this means is that you will be able to go in. You'll have to unfortunately go into a medical facility and have your blood drawn. In a very short procedure, they'll be able to determine whether or not you have been exposed to the coronavirus, COVID-19. If you have immunity. If you have immunity, the likelihood of you catching the disease diminishes in the short term. So if the government and the states can identify individuals that have had the disease, and again, it's looking as much as 25% of us could have been exposed to the disease and did not have a response, but we have immunity. Those individuals in some states are talking about issuing certificates of immunity that will allow you to disregard the stay-at-home orders so that you can go and start working, getting the economy back up and running. So eventually they said they will be able to just use a tiny bit of blood, like a little pinprick, and these tests could be done outside of the medical facilities. And lastly, the Democratic National Convention announced that they have decided to move back their national convention. They were going to hold it in July. They have now moved it to the week of August 17th. It still will be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Again, they're hoping that with time, they will flatten the curve, and with the summer months, the virus will rescind, and they would be able to hold their large gathering and nominate their nominee for the President of the United States. They will still be going before the Republicans. Today's political cartoon once again pays homage to our healthcare workers, the people on the front line. If you've been watching the news, there's been a lot of stories on Facebook, on Twitter, and other social media outlets about the toll this pandemic is taking on our healthcare workers, the frontline workers, and how they're becoming the true heroes of this situation. And, when this is all said and done, I hope we all keep our respect for these individuals and remember what they did for us during this trying time. Well, that ends the current events for this week. I'll be back on Monday with new current events. If you feel like you want to comment or start up a conversation, you can reply to my Twitter, Facebook, or go on Google Classroom if you were part of my Students for Third Try, and leave a comment, a question. I'd be happy to respond back to you. Until Monday, remember, keep calm and keep on reading. Mr. Ruska signing off.